I did not plan on making this video. It's really to the point where I wasn't even sure I was gonna make this video, but I think it's part of like healing and feeling and closure in a way. So 2024 was not a great year for me. There's some stuff that happened that I want to keep private at this moment. Yeah, I mean, and then in November 2024, I lost one of my closest friends. We had knew each other, well, I knew of him for years. Just a little backstory, his name is Edwin Medina, and I always told him, like, we're probably family somewhere down the line because my mom's side of the family, their last name is Medina. So I was like this close to becoming a Medina, you know? And yeah, I always joked with him, like, we're probably family down the line, you know? We're so similar, you know? And we would always go out together. We'd always do a lot of collabs together, a lot of influencer events. And it's a really unique story because I lived in the suburbs for a good portion of my life, and I had always said I wanted to move to the city, get a job in the city, and I had always told myself, once I am able to financially take care of my kids and myself and move to the city, have our own place, I made it. I did it. That was like my biggest dream I could ever think of, and I did that. So at one point, I was living in the South Loop area, and I remember finding this guy on Instagram, and this was before Reels were even a thing, right? Like, it was just, Instagram had just like started, and it was like back in like 2018, 2019, and people were just starting to hop on to it, and it was getting really big at this point, and I was like, you know, I want to just start taking pictures of myself. So I started taking pictures of myself, you know, on my way to dinner, like Wednesday through Sunday. It was literally my favorite thing to do, was get dressed up and go to dinner and, you know, just look cute. And so I said, why not just snap a photo of myself since I already look cute, you know? So anyways, my photos started to go viral out of nowhere, and it was just quick, very, very quick. Within a few months, I had like 10,000 followers. And I remember coming across this page, and it was of this guy. And, you know, me and my boyfriend at the time were looking at units. And I say at the time because now he's my fiance. We were looking at units to purchase in the very near future. And it just looked so familiar, where this guy would like take photos of himself or videos or stories, you know, whatever it was. Like, it just looked so familiar, the background, the way that the apartment looked. And I was like, I think he lives near me. I think he lives very close to me, because that is the normal aesthetic of like South Loop. It was very like, they had a lot of industrial, and they still do, industrial units, condos, apartments, you know, stuff like that, soft lofts, you know, things like that. So I was in a soft loft, and then it looked like he was in a true loft. And that's where we ultimately wanted to move, in something like that, right? Fine. So I remember just like looking at this guy, and I was like, I want a gay best friend. He's good looking, he has a great personality, like he knows how to dress. Like, I would love a gay best friend, because to be honest, you know, they're just gonna tell you like it is, you know. And he was very charismatic, and like I feel like anyone could love him, you know. So I was like, I want his life. Like, he was going out to events, he was like living in this loft, he had his dogs, like he was just like so freaking cool. And like, I just remember like, I want to be an influencer to live his life. Now, you know, I have people in my family that are, you know, big influencers, one specifically, and it didn't matter. Like, I wanted to live the way he was living. Like, I wanted to embody what he was giving, you know? And that was just like, he wasn't big-headed. He doesn't even know, I don't even think he knew how great he was, right? And that he was inspiring people with what he was doing. So anyways, I remember, you know, following him and like liking all his stuff, like, oh my gosh, you know, whatever, like, it'd be cool if we met, because I have a feeling he lives over here somewhere, but like, and I was way too shy to message and be like, hey, you know, no. I was new to the game, didn't know what I was doing, like, I was getting all these likes and had no idea what to do with them, all these followers. So anyways, fast forward, he is the one that basically really made me want to become an influencer, a content creator, like, okay, so there was this one event, and we ended up meeting there, and it's so crazy how the world works, because at that time I think I had grown another 5K, and I was, or maybe even 10K, I was probably at 15, 20K followers on Instagram, and I was like, I need to start getting out there. I need to start like meeting people. I need to start, you know, being a full influencer. So I was invited to this event at Caesar's Killer Margaritas, and I was so nervous. And they only invited, I mean, I want to say it was probably like 20 people. And so I get there, I go there by myself, because it was like only supposed to be the influencer, right? And they have little name cards on everybody's place setting, and I saw mine, and then I saw that the person next to me was Edwin. It said his name. And I was like, shut up. Like, there's no way right now that, he doesn't even know who I am. Like, he doesn't even know who I am, but, like, I know who he is. Like, holy shit, right? So then I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. So then he shows up with, like, his best friend, and we get to talking. He is as cool as he seems, you know, on his page as he is in person. And I was just like, oh my God, like, I swear I was trying to not blush. And I remember telling him, like, oh my God, you are so cool. Like, you don't even know this, but, like, I know who you are. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I've seen your stuff too. I was like, no, you haven't. He goes, yeah, I've seen your videos, you know, stuff like that. He's like, I love your videos. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, you know, and I was just like so stunned. And I just told him, like, it's a moment for me right now, saying that, you know, I've been following you for all these years, and I imagined what it would be like to have you as a friend, and like, here you are, like, next to me, and I had nothing to do with it. Like, it just happened. So crazy.
Mil gracias al equipo de Cesar's Killer Margaritas, que reunió a creadores en el área de Chicago para disfrutar una cena juntos, iniciando las festividades de Día de Muertos. Si no han ido, aquí tienen su oportunidad de ganarse una tarjeta de $150 para que ustedes también sean partícipes en esta celebración. Más detalles en este post.
Forward, we pretty much talked like every week after that. We would like send each other, you know, memes and videos, and, you know, he'd be like, we should hang out soon, and blah, blah, blah. And we got each other's number, and before you know it, we were pretty much inseparable. Like, wherever I was, he was. Wherever he was, I was. And, you know, we would go to each other's collabs, we would go to events with each other, you know, and then we sort of, you know, like, he introduced me to a lot of people, I introduced him, and we kind of formed like a small little group. And it was a lot of fun every single time we were together. I can't think of one time that I was like, yeah, this is not it for me. Like, he really made the show. He really made the party. And I think, you know, I really, with hanging out with him, I really understood better how to be a better friend. You know I didn't know him forever, but I knew him long enough to really see the person that he is. That he was. And and the character that he had. It spoke like volumes. Like, there's this one time we went to Sueños together, which was last year, and I don't know if you guys remember Sueños 2024. It got rained out, right? So like literally it was the worst because, you know, we're all there, it's all great, and then all of a sudden it just starts pouring, and you know, they cancel it, whatever, and we're all walking, and Edwin goes, let's all go to my house, like let's continue the party at my house. So we're like, all right. So then he goes, let's stop at the liquor store first because I got nothing. So we're like, okay, cool. So then we start walking, and it just starts pouring rain, like, and he goes, oh, Whitney, I have a poncho, and pulls out his specific poncho for himself and puts it on me. And I think me and my fiance at that moment kind of looked at him like, wow, like, because you didn't have to do that. Like, Art would have gave me whatever shirt he had on his back. Or my fiance would have gave me any shirt that he had on his back. Like, or I would have just been like, well, whatever, my hair's going to be messed up anyways. But, like, he did it on his own. Like, he didn't even have to do that. And I know it's, like, such a simple gesture, but it's very much like taking the clothes off of your back and giving it to someone in need, you know? And I think at that moment, I was just like, yeah, like, I was right about him. I want to keep him as my friend. Like, that, yes, because I would do the same for you. So, anyway, a lot of times like that came up. And, you know, another memory is the Miche Fest. It was my first time going to Miche Fest. I think it was the first year. I don't even know, honestly, but I went into Miche Fest. One of the restaurants I work with, they had invited me. They said, I will give you and a friend entry. I'll give you guys tickets, and you can do a giveaway on your account and give someone else tickets. So I said, great. I did the giveaway. I get to the festival, and they're like, your name is not on the list. So I'm like, okay, there must be some sort of mistake. Maybe he has the bands with him. Like, maybe he's trying to give me like employee bands or whatever, vendor bands. So I'm calling, there's no reception. So then it was me, Edwin, and my fiance, and Edwin goes, well, I have a band, like, I'll go in and I'll find him, the owner, and I'll bring him out to come get you guys. So I was like, okay, and I'm a little nervous because everyone that knows Edwin, he is very distracted. He's best intentions ever, love the kids so much, but like very energetic, like constantly moving. When he walks, it's not walking, it's almost running, and you're like falling behind, so like, and then like it's like what, like, so anyways. I was nervous that, and also when you're with him, he's gonna talk to everybody that he sees and then stop and take pictures. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna be sitting here for like an hour. Like he's gonna forget about me, but like this is the only shot I got. So I was like, okay, yes, go ahead. I was like, but go straight there and come straight back. And he was like, okay, I got it. I was like, okay. And then he's like, all right, I'll be right back. So we walked him to the gate, and he goes in through the gate because he had the band, because he didn't get in by this owner. He got in with I think my friend Bri helped him get in or something. So anyways, so then he goes in, and about like 6 minutes, I swear, it was very quick. He calls me from in there, but it's like choppy. He's like, hey, I'm on my way back, and I was like, okay. So we're at the gate, and he brings the owner, and the owner is like, I don't have bands for you. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I did the post, like, what do you mean? And I was like, you didn't put us on the list? And he's like, no, I don't, this is my first fest, like, I didn't know how things worked. And I was like, but you offered me a freaking band, what do you mean? Like, you should have asked me or somebody. So anyway, so now I'm like, okay, now what? Because I literally got dressed, we pre-gamed and everything at Edwin's place, like, we are ready to go, okay? And I forgot what happened. Oh, he gave me a vendor wristband to just get in the door, because he had other employees that were gonna come for like the other shift or something. He needed the bands. So I was like, okay, so we put him on loosely, and then we walked in, and then I gave him back. Okay, so then we're there, whatever, you know, and I'm like, thanks, Edwin, you know, whatever, and we're ready to party now. We're like, yes. However, we all had to go to the bathroom, okay? So Edwin goes, okay, let's go to the bathroom. Let's go to the bathroom. So Edwin is a bit taller. Like, I'm really short, right? So Edwin's taller than me. We use him as the eyes, okay, above the crowd. And so he grabs my hand and he's like, let's go. So he grabs my hand, I grab Art's hand, and we're walking through the crowd. Tons of people, right? At this point, we ran into Bri, and we're like, what's up? You know, whatever. Fine. So Bri had to go, and he had to go, like, film something over there. So the three of us try to go to the bathroom. We go around, and we end up at this, like, brick building with security in front of it, and it kind of looks like a bathroom. Like, everyone's going to this thing, but we don't know what it is, right? So then Edwin has the bright idea of taking us to these security guards and saying, is this the bathroom? Where's the bathroom? And they go, oh no, it's not over here, it's like over there. And then as I'm walking away, the security guards go like this, and they look at me and they go, where's your wristband? And I was like, oh my God, we've only been in here for like 5 minutes. You cannot be joking right now. You cannot be joking. So then I was about to start explaining, and then Edwin grabs my hand and starts running, like darts away. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, so then I'm like, and then I'm like chasing after him as fast as I can. And Art, he has a sling. He had like a motorcycle accident, so he's not running. Like, he's just trying to walk fast and keep up. So Edwin just like runs with me, and we're running through all these people, dodging, and I see the security. They're like, stop. They're literally on my tail, like literally, and I'm like, oh my God, like she's like reaching for me, like right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like freaking out, like this girl better not grab me, like it's gonna be a problem. Like, so then fine. So then we get to like he goes, I know where the booth is. I was like, yes, that's our only safe spot. We need to get back to the booth of the person that got me in. So we run back to the booth, like 10 security at this point, because they were like, ticket, alert, you know, whatever. And like 10 security followed us, and we get to the booth, and me and Edwin kind of go behind the booth, and Edwin's like, go in there. So then he starts arguing. He starts arguing while I go behind the booth, right? He starts arguing, and he goes with the security, like, what is your problem? Don't be grabbing us. Like, don't be trying to grab her. Like, she didn't do anything wrong. Like, we're here because of him, right? Tell them. And then the owner's like this. Well, this isn't good for business. Well, no kidding. What do you mean? Like, what? You offered me tickets? Okay, so then I'm there just like going back and forth, looking at the security guard, looking at Edwin, looking at it, and then I see other influencers. I don't know if you guys know Yummy Chicago, but I saw them back there with a few other people, and they were like, what's going on, Whitney? Like, what's happening? And I was like, dude, and I told them, and they were like, what? They're like, that's messed up. Like, why would he do that? And I was like, right. I don't know why you would invite somebody, and then, you know, and then she was just like, well, the girl in Yummy Chicago, she was like, yeah, like, that's kind of messed up. She's like, whatever, just come this way. They're not even looking. So she takes me, and she kind of puts me over there. So I kind of get lost in the sauce behind all the tents, right? And then she goes up to the front, and they were like, do you know her? And she goes, yeah, I know her. She's a content creator, a well-known content creator. And then they were like, oh, okay, we thought she like snuck in. And she's like, no, she's supposed to be here. And so much respect for them for even like saying anything or standing up, because like I was not trying to sneak in, you know, like I actually was supposed to do videos while I'm there, you know, like I had worked out other collaborations that day. It was a mess. The point I'm trying to make here is that Edwin stood up for me. Like, he was not letting it go. He literally was ready to like box with this female security guard that later on after the fest, we saw videos of that same security guard kicking girls on the ground, dragging them by their clothes, throwing them to the floor. So, you know, Edwin was definitely not going to let that happen. He was always ready to have my back. Anytime, anywhere we went, he was very much like, no, you know, and loved that. So that's just like another story that I have of him that I'll never forget. And it's crazy because Miche Fest is coming up again this year, and it's just like, so es sueños. But anyways, yeah, I really miss him. I really miss him, and it's just kind of crazy when things happen out of nowhere, because it was very just unexpected. So moving on, it's maybe now September, and you know, things are kind of, I'm not going out as much. I'm kind of like staying in a bit. And then October, we spent Halloween together. He had to run with Brian, get a last minute costume, but he met us at this club called Number 9. It's at the second floor in Prism, and we had a blast there. He was able to get us a table, and really we just had like such a good time. I lost my wig that night. I was Wendy, and he did everything in his power to try to recover the wig. Texted the guy, looked for it. Like, we were at so many spots, so it's really hard to say where it is or who took it or what happened to it. But anyway, and then about a month later, or less than that, about 2 weeks later, I was in Villa Park, and I had just left a body sculpting collab, and I went to the Target on North Avenue, and I was charging my car. And Bri had set up this Airbnb where he just wanted it to be like a Friendsgiving. It's like, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Chicago. And so we were all gonna make the drive out there, and Edwin was gonna go, and we were all gonna like, you know, just have like a really amazing Friendsgiving. There was like a hot tub, like we could do s'mores. Like this place has like everything. Enough bedrooms for everyone. But then Bri, like everybody knows I don't like phone calls. Can't stand them. Text me, like voice audio me, because I'm so busy. Like I'm in the car half the time too. So I just prefer that, so that when I'm able, I will get to it, you know, and there's no pressure or anything. I don't want to get like stressed out. And Brian knows that, but he was like insisting on a phone call. And I'm thinking it's about planning this like thing, and I'm like, why does he need to call me? Like, I'm busy. And then he goes, no, like it needs to happen in person. Like I need to talk to you in person. I mean, you know, he wanted to talk in person, but then I was like, no, I can't. Like I'm all the way in Villa Park, because he was gonna drive to my house and tell me in person. And I was like, no, like I'm not even near my house. Like the time's gonna take to drive back into the city, it's just gonna be insane. So he's like, fine, are you parked? And I go, yes. And he goes, okay, I'm gonna call you right now. He took a few minutes to call, which I thought was weird, but he finally called, and he goes, hey, like, are you parked? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay, so Edwin passed away. And I was like I remember just like pausing, like, what the fuck? You know, like, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, and I don't mean, like, he responded with, I wouldn't joke about this. But I didn't mean, are you playing, like, are you joking? Like, I really didn't think he would joke about it, but it was just in that moment where I'm like, you cannot be serious right now. And he goes, yeah, and then he starts telling me the story. So yeah, basically, they were supposed to hang out, and, you know, Edwin wasn't responding to text messages like he normally does. It might take him a couple hours sometimes, but normally he's pretty good about it. And he wasn't responding for like a few days. So then Bri texted his partner, Nolan, And Nolan basically said the same thing. He hadn't talked to him and he wasn't responding either. So then they both decided, well, let's go up there and check on him. So I guess he went to go check on him. They went to go check on him and he wasn't answering the door. And yeah, so then they called his mom, I believe, and no one had heard of him basically. And they called the cops, they busted the door open, and yeah, it was then pronounced that my friend had passed away. And you know, I'm sitting there in the Target parking lot, like, it was like, yeah, terrible news. And yeah, it was just something that I wish never happened, but it happened, and there's literally nothing I can do. But yeah, it was very, very hard. And I just remember being in shock because it just didn't seem real, you know? Like, it still doesn't seem real. And that was in November. I mean, yeah, it's been at least 5 months. But anyways, then I think Bri couldn't maintain his composure anymore. So he basically said, okay, I'm going to let you go now, but call me if you need anything. So I said, okay. And I just sat there and I just like sat with it because it was just still shocking. And I think, yeah, right away I called my fiance and just bursted into tears. And I just couldn't stop crying the entire way back. And I got upstairs and the kids saw me and I just bursted again into tears. It's just really, I think it's really hard, like, when it's out of nowhere. Like, there was no answers at that time, you know, of what happened exactly, because they were doing an investigation. No one knew. So we decided to, you know, just make sure we were really there for each other during this time. It was really, really difficult. And we went to the funeral and everything like that. That was probably the hardest thing I have ever done. And I mean that with every ounce of me. To see someone be physically buried almost seems too gruesome. Like, it just seems like you shouldn't be allowed to see it or something. Like, it was so, like, surreal. Like, it was just like, so weird. It's so weird. And it just, I couldn't hold. It was just the worst I have ever cried. And I almost feel like people shouldn't see that. Like, it was just like, I don't know. But it's the most real and the most gruesome thing I have seen, to be honest, just because it was just like, whoa. Like, we just saw you in the casket, cried over you for hours. They close it. And now we're taking you to your grave where you're gonna lay. And we're gonna pick you up and place you on the ground. They're gonna lower you into the ground. And then they're gonna come with this truck and pour soil on top. Like, I don't know if I could do that ever again. It was just, and I have yet to visit his site after that. I feel like I talk to him all the time. I feel his presence, like, all the time, especially when I'm driving. It's the weirdest thing, but it's so amazing at the same time because you really feel them next to you and you just, I don't know, like it's really hard to explain. But we also did a celebration of life party for him. Again, he was like the life of the party and he always wanted to have a good time. He always wanted phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. He's never ready to go home, just like me. Like, we don't know when to stop. Like, once we're out, we're out. And that's another reason why we bonded so much. Both love to dance, both love to, turn up. Like, so yeah. We had a celebration of life, and boy, was that difficult. I made a balloon arch for him. His favorite color was blue, and so I did blue, white, and black, and I just did like a simple arch. And then I printed out photos of all his closest friends and some cousins and stuff, whoever I could find. I put the pictures on the balloons. Yeah, Nolan did most of the heavy lifting for that party, and I just tried to help where I could. I think it was a lot of fun, and I think it was very difficult for us because no one saw us break down while setting up. But through it all, I think I'm very grateful that I now have like a friend for life, Nolan. So if there's anything that he gave me, he did give me that. Yeah. We made sure to have a phase 2 as he would have liked. And I'll include the video here so you guys can see the video I made on Instagram and TikTok. It's taken me kind of a while to go ahead and make this video, but on November 15th, 2024, my dear, dear friend Edwin Medina passed away. He was always the life of the party, and he always just wanted everyone to have a good time. So his partner, close friends, and family, we all decided to come together and make him a celebration of life party. And by any means, don't get things twisted. We're smiling, we're happy, but this was very difficult for us all. I just think it's really hard to wrap your mind around it and really realize that he's not physically here anymore. But we want to make sure that we keep his spirit alive, and we want to celebrate him. Throughout the event, this particular set of roses were calling my name, so I made sure to take them with me. We decided to have a phase 2 because he would definitely want that. All I know is he was super loved and will always be loved. For such a caring, loving, good-looking man, he had a really cool group around him. We all love you so much and think about you all the time. Until we meet again, friend. Yeah, so now in the present, it's just constantly being reminded of him, and I have like a little area in my room that is specifically for him, and I see him every morning that I wake up, and I talk to him very often. And yeah, I just think he was gone too soon. I know everybody says that, but it just really feels that way. Like, it was like, fuck, like, why him? Because like the world needed people like that. People that inspire people to be better people. So, but you know what? He gave us that gift of seeing that. And I think about being a better person all the time. And he left me with great examples, and yeah. So that's what I can say is he left his footprint behind, and I am forever grateful. And yeah, he's never gonna be forgotten. I'm gonna keep making sure that his name is out there. I mean, he's literally the reason I became an influencer. So, yes. So I do feel like this video helps me. It helps me have closure. It helps me talk about it. It helps me, just work through it. And this is not for likes or like whatever. It's just, I do treat my YouTube as like a diary, basically. Things I have done, people I have met. Just I love just having it as like a diary. I don't care to make like anything go up in views or anything. It's just so that I can look back on it later and be like, yeah, that was a time. So yeah, I'd be interested to know, about you guys, if you guys had any losses in your close circle, family, friends, and how it's affected you and how you kind of like deal with it moving forward and how you ultimately keep their name alive and keep it going. Yeah, I think that's it for the video. I hope you were able to connect with this, and yeah, just check on your loved ones, check on your friends, your family, and no matter what it is, just remember, we all got a date, so whatever it is, just let it go. Okay, bye for now.